I'm Big Bang Mike, and these are my favorite fictional martial arts in no particular order, Part 1. In this series, I'm going to explore fictional martial arts that don't exist in real life, kind of, so if you like what I'm doing, make sure you let me know in the comments to keep it going. First up on the list, the Weirding Way. The Weirding Way is a very specialty martial art that was created for the series Dune. Created by a psychic group of women known as the Bene Gesserit. It combines their special psychic powers and adapts them to hand-to-hand combat. Basically, they manipulate the minds of their opponents to make it seem like time is moving slower for them. This will give everyone around them that's not gifted with this perception the appearance that they're teleporting, when you're really just perceiving time at a slower rate than they are. This is a tactic that is later adopted by the Fremen. Spoiler for a book that came out in 1965, I guess. It's not that big of a deal. What I love about this is that it's not a flat-out superpower. You still need to learn how to fight, but the Weirding Way can definitely give you an edge. Now hit like for part 2. Big Bang Mike here, and these are my favorite fictitious martial arts in no particular order, Part 2. Do you have a fictitious martial arts that you'd like to see in this series? Make sure you let me know in the comments. Today we're talking about Chaste Ninjutsu. Chaste Ninjutsu is basically the martial arts style of Daredevil himself. They are the antagonists to the supernaturally supplemented group known as the Hand. Legend has it that a young boy defended his entire town from an attack on the Hand using the knife pulled from the bosom of his dead mother. Becoming the legend that would be known as the Chase, he would go on to train other rebel groups in the style that defeated the Hand, creating an entire antagonist group of a subset of ninjas that included a blind man by the name of Stick, who possessed the knowledge and life experience to train the man without fear himself. Seriously, who's not excited about this series? The Chaste are adept at using anything as a weapon, from swords and knives to everyday items. This is where you follow. Big Bang Michael Lasky, and these are my favorite fictional martial arts in no particular order, Part 3. Make sure you like and follow to support this kind of content, because honestly it doesn't do that well, and if you want me to keep doing it, I need to know you like it. Today, it's Venusian Aikido. Now, as far as sci-fi franchises go, I've been a part of Star Trek and Star Wars. But Venusian Aikido hails from the Doctor Who franchise as a primary hand-to-hand combat form of the Doctor themselves. It was first introduced by the 3rd Doctor, but was reaffirmed by many others, including the 12th and the 13th. So it's safe to say that whoever your favorite Doctor is, they used Venusian Aikido. It was developed by the beings of Venus, whom possessed 5 arms and 5 legs. And the Doctor is famously one of the only 2-armed beings to really excel at the sport. Training against one with 5 legs makes it easy to take down bipedal beings. It also uses pressure points that are able to immobilize your enemy. It actually sounds more useful than real Aikido. Big Bang is back, and these are my favorite fictional martial arts in no particular order, Part 4. I'm compiling this series into a playlist on TikTok in case you missed past installments, but if you want future installments, make sure you follow. Today we're looking at Ansensuken Karate. Ansensuken Karate is the primary martial arts style of the Street Fighter character Ryu. And look, before we get into it and I get all the comments, we pronounce this guy's name in America a bunch of different ways. There's Ryu, Ryu, and Ryu. I'm going with what I understand to be the Japanese pronunciation, so get off my back. Anyways, Ansensuken was probably made most popular by Ryu, but it's also studied by Ken and a lot of other people with huge backstories. Experts in this art will perfect the Hadouken, the Shoryuken, and the Tatsumaki, otherwise known as the Hurricane Kick. Ansensuken translates to the Assassin's Fist or the style of the Murderous Fist, depending on who you ask. And it's kinda got like a Jedi Sith thing going on, as while you can leverage it for self-improvement, it can take you to some dark places if you're not careful. Now hit follow. Big Bang Mike here, and let's continue with the best fictional martial arts, in my opinion, Part 5. And today we're gonna have to do some pretty creative editing because a lot of social media platforms, they don't like this topic. But we're going after it anyways. Let's talk about Gun Kata. Gun Kata, or Gun Fu, was probably made most popular by the cult classic movie Equilibrium. But it was inspired by Chinese action films, and it later inspired the fighting style seen in the John Wick franchise. In this movie, Batman plays Neo from The Matrix, and the idea is that you can predict where your next opponent's going to be based on probability and the last place you shot. And this allows the practitioner of the Gun Kata to essentially fight blind. You really have to see the movie to get a good sense of it, but these guys practice with firearms as if it were a martial art. It sort of makes me wish that people in real life would treat it with this type of reverence. It's depicted as a very traditional art of study, but its application is visceral and action-packed. 3 cheers for Equilibrium and the Gun Kata. Big Bang Mike, and these are the best fictional martial arts, in my opinion, Part 6. This one's fun because it started off as a fictional martial art, but now it's kind of a real one. Let's talk about lightsaber combat. Lightsaber combat, or Jedi Combat, is basically the lightsaber-based martial arts style of the Star Wars universe. Now here's your obligatory reminder that I was part of that universe via the Book of Boba Fett, which itself introduced a Tusken Raider martial arts style. Let me know if you'd like me to cover that in a future video. So a long time ago in a galaxy far away, lightsaber combat was basically just an emulation of Japanese kendo or kenjutsu, which is basically the martial arts that the samurai did. But since then it's expanded and morphed into a style almost all its own, with at least 7 different forms that you could become proficient in depending on your style and temperament. And there are people who are super good at it, to the point where there are full contact leagues and tournaments. MMA with lightsabers, if you will. Yeah, that's awesome. I gotta enter one. You know the deal. I'm Big Bang Mike, and these are the best fictional martial arts, in my opinion, part 7. Do you have a martial art that should be on this list? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about the Mukbara. We're getting into Star Trek territory, guys. Who's that sexy guy right there? Yeah, I fought a Zindian Enterprise. Let's move it along. Now, the Mukbara is colloquially known as the primary martial art of the Klingon Empire. But what they really are a subset of forms designed to center the body and the mind that informed the entirety of all Klingon combat. That includes the Batleth, the Mek'leth, and all other Klingon weapons. Now, while the Mukbara seem peaceful at first, remember that it does eventually morph into the Klingon life perspective, a rigid warrior caste of authoritarians who use violence to achieve their means. I mean, not without exception, but for the most part. I just love how Klingon martial arts styles will go from this to this with evolution, practice, and training. Now take a second to hit that follow button. It's right there. Big Bang Mike here, and these are my favorite fictional martial arts styles in no particular order, part 7. Getting close to part 10, guys. If you want me to continue on with this after that, you better let me know. Because today we're talking about Panzer Koontz. Panzer Koontz is a fictional cybernetic martial arts style used in Battle Angel Alita or Alita Battle Angel. I'm not sure of the order. But we're talking about both the manga and the movie. Formulated on Mars in zero gravity, its name translates to the art of the tank in German. What's kind of cool about this martial art is that it was specifically developed for the use against cybernetic beings, or other cybernetic beings, I guess. It uses powerful vibration-based strikes, designed to bypass the cybernetic armor of your opponents. I mean, it stands to reason that in a world chock full of cyborgs, we would have to adapt our martial arts to deal with them as well. That's why I give props to the Alita series for taking that into consideration. Like this video? Want more like it? Hit follow. Big Bang Mike here, and this is part 9 of the best fictional martial arts, in my opinion. Let's go. Now, the majority of you guys are gonna say this should have been number 1, but remember, these are in no particular order. That's what that says. So finally, it's here. You can shut up. Kame Style. Kame Style, or Kame Sennin, was created by Master Roshi. Also known as Turtle Style, it is often regarded as the primary, most powerful style of the Dragon Ball franchise. Its most powerful attack is the titular brand-identifying Kamehameha, a Hadouken-like energy beam whose power level is only bound by the energy you're able to put into it. It also employs the use of weighted turtle shell training that allow its practitioners to jump higher and move faster than their opponents. Sort of like Shaolin weighted vest training. Shout out to Shaolin Soccer, by the way, that movie's awesome. They are also said to have movements that can resemble the Ultra Instinct, a supernatural ability to evade and attack, generally reserved for godlike beings. Hit follow. Big Bang Mike here, and this is the series finale of my favorite fictional martial arts in no particular order, part 10. This is gonna be a fun one. Shintaro Ninjutsu, Tanaka Style. Shintaro Ninjutsu is a family legacy of ninjutsu brought to America by Mori Shintaro. Tanaka Style refers to Mori's ninja name, given to him on a very special cultural occasion known as the Day of Names. The Tanaka style of Shintaro Ninjutsu employs a very traditional version of the clandestine assassin tactics that we've come to know. But over the years it have proved to have been shown some very mystic qualities. For instance, practitioners seem to be able to shapeshift in order to hide their identities. They also seem to have a semi-permanent ability to slow their aging, allowing them to display a youthful look, at least temporarily. Being a family legacy, it is thought that there are only 3 people in the world that actually still know this martial art. At least, 3 people that we know of. Now hit that follow button.